Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Singh. Topping our newscast, during a live broadcast Thursday morning, Governor Kenneth Mapp announced 2 new cabinet appointments, but he also used that press conference to brief the public on a number of pressing issues. News 2's Erica Parsons has more.
You know, everyone expected to hear just the names of the nominees appointed to head the remaining agencies, but instead the governor talked about policing, prisons, public projects, payments, retirement, cost-cutting initiatives, and more. Governor Mapp named Catherine Hendry to serve as the VI's Commissioner of Labor. Hendry had previously served as an assistant commissioner of the agency.
She became noteworthy in a number of issues that she founded the Department of Labor and was able to undertake them, some even saving us some federal dollars. And we made a decision then to give Catherine the opportunity.
The governor tapped VI advocate and former legislative chief of staff Juan Figueroa to head the VI lottery.
Mr. Figueroa, I would like to welcome you to the Mapp Potter administration. I would like to wish you well, and we look forward to working with you in your role as the Virgin Islands Lottery. You are going to have your challenges at the lottery cut out for you.
No other appointments were announced. Instead, the administration used part of the time to outline their response to the territory's escalating crime.
We are going to push back, and we're going to push back in a very significant way.
I have been through this before, and I know that we can put a dent in the violent crime that we're having in this territory.
To do that, officials say they will be enlisting federal help. The National Guard's military police will be deployed to assist the VIPD, and Marine patrols will be reinstated. Recruiting new officers is still high on the list since Commissioner Delroy Richards said the territory's police force is short 200 officers. They also plan to reevaluate the testing process. The police chiefs in each district have also been charged with increasing patrols in high-crime areas.
All technical data and intel info must be utilized to target those persons of interest who seem to move about freely without fear of being challenged.
Commissioner Richards said the department is monitoring persons of interest in recent crimes. Also, the governor is getting tough on guns. He's working with the U.S. attorney's offices to have all gun crimes prosecuted on the federal level. Erica Parsons, News 2.
Meanwhile, Governor Mapp also talked about reducing costs in different areas of the government. One of those targets is the Bureau of Corrections. The administration has plans to ship 50 to 60% of local inmates off island. The governor says the VI can cut the cost of housing a prisoner in half by sending some of them to stateside prisons.
There are a whole bevy of services that go with inmating and corrections and rehabilitation that are provided in those facilities that we don't provide here. That's part of our consent decree. So the Bureau of Correction is another entity that we literally have to build from the ground up. And so to the extent that we can reduce the prison population because of our lack of staffing, reduce our costs.
The Senate Rules and Judiciary Committee, chaired by Senator Kenneth Gittens, met on St. Thomas Thursday morning to review some nominations made by Governor Kenneth Mapp for key government positions. First up was Valdemar Collins, former Chief Financial Officer of the VI Port Authority, nominated for Finance Commissioner. Collins, a Harvard MBA graduate, withstood rounds of questioning. His family and co-workers were present to show support. The Rules Committee approved Collins' nomination. Beverly Nicholson Doty, who was retained by the new administration, was also reapproved as Tourism Commissioner. Lawrence Olive, Governor Mapp's choice to head the Motor Vehicles Bureau, was also approved later in the day. All 3 nominations still have to be confirmed by the full Senate body. Well, as the proposal to build a hotel complex in Mandal begins to go through a long approvals process, residents who oppose the plan continue to meet with senators to explain why. One family shares why the battle over Mandal Bay is more than a matter of environmental concern. News News April Knight has more.
Jobs, revenue, and a competitive tourism product. These are promises of the developers of Port of Mandal, the $480 million hotel and marina complex at Mandal Bay that's about to go before Senate for approval. But some residents are not buying the pitch.
Every developer that comes in here, that's their jobs, jobs, jobs. No.
Protesters say the issue goes beyond the environment and public access to the area. This family of Opia Taínos says allowing development in Mandal affects the indigenous population on the island.
I understand that you have to move forward, time changes, but there are things that should remain intact because of history, and for our children.
According to Phillips, the project is not something to be rushing into, especially if archaeological artifacts that have been found in the area are at stake.
And there have been bones found at Mandel Bay. I think they need to just stop long enough to find out the true identity of the bones.
Opponents of the project may have cause for hope. A few senators have already expressed that the Mandal proposal, as it is now, might not be worth pushing forward.
Though I'd like to remain as open-minded as possible, I can tell you right now that it's a challenge for me to conceive in my mind such a development at this site. I would prefer that this becomes part of the territorial park system.
And while the prospect of jobs and revenue sound good, in this case, public outcry might just sway the legislators. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
News 2 will keep you updated as soon as the Mandal proposal begins to move through Senate hearings. Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority's Executive Director, Hugo Hodge Jr., held a conference this afternoon to provide an update on the Propane Conversion project at WAPA's power generating plants on St. Thomas and St. Croix. The conference also allowed the director to provide an overview of an operation on Sunday, February 15th, as the first of 10 propane storage tanks arrive on St. Thomas.
We're talking about 18 foot in diameter. We're talking about 140, 180 feet in length. We're talking about 300 tons for each storage tank. We are going to be closing some roads while the moves are taking place, and we are going to do this with as minimum impact to the community as possible. And we have where they're coming in Crown Bay is where the cruise ships also dock down there, so we have to coordinate this around when there are cruise ships in town. So the first there are 10 tanks that are supposed to come to St. Thomas, and the first 2 will come on this Sunday at the crack of dawn. They'll actually arrive Saturday night, and what we'll do is we'll prepare everything the night before, get the barricades up. So first thing in the morning, as soon as we have sunlight, we'll start to move the tanks from the barge up the hill to our power plant, behind the power plant where the fuel tanks are.
And we will have more from that conference. Turning our attention overseas, the attack on Sony Pictures resulted in not only the release of sensitive internal emails, but also employee computers getting wiped. It served as a wake-up call for corporations and the government alike. President Obama has since stepped up cybersecurity efforts and is looking to Silicon Valley for assistance. It's now up to Congress to debate and pass President Obama's proposal and other to use military action against Islamic State militants. Lawmakers will soon hold hearings where the White House is expected to lay out its strategy, and still Congress could try to change the resolution. The president's plan opens the door to using American ground troops. Keeping our eye on the economy, Americans are still cautious about discretionary spending. The Commerce Department says retail sales were up slightly in January, only by about 0.1%. This comes despite a big boost in hiring and relatively low gas prices. Expedia is buying its competition one at a time. The online travel site announced it will buy rival Orbitz for about $1.3 billion. It was just a few weeks ago that Expedia said it was buying Travelocity. Here's the New York Stock Exchange with our stock market watch. The Dow, Nasdaq, S&P all up. The Dow 110, Nasdaq 56, S&P 19. Coming up on News 2, February 14th is near. Love is in the air. More Valentine's events coming up. Also, in our Black History moment, here's a quiz. who became the first African-American oceanographer to participate in the dives aboard research submersibles, and between 1980 and 1983 wrote the Science Corner column for Ebony Junior magazine. The answer coming up next. Well, time for a moment in Black history. Evan Ford, whose father was a high school science teacher, developed a love of science as a young boy. He always wanted to be a scientist. He already had a telescope, microscope, and chemistry set by the time he was in the 3rd grade. By age 23, he had already earned a bachelor's degree in geology and a master's degree in marine geology from Columbia University. Ford became a researcher in marine geology at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, in the summer of 1973 while still an undergraduate, and has worked for NOAA in a variety of capacities ever since. His area of expertise is submarine canyons, and he has researched their formation and evolution, as well as the causes of underwater landslides and avalanches. In 1979, he became the first African-American oceanographer to participate in dives aboard research submersibles, or vessels that operate underwater. In addition to his research, he is a strong advocate of science education for students. Between 1980 and 1983, he wrote the Science Corner column for Ebony Junior magazine. This Valentine's Day, Senator Myron D. Jackson encourages all to support the fight against domestic violence by participating in 1 Billion Rising, and we'll hear a little bit more about that. It's an international call to action. Jackson said friends and colleagues remember Merle Nada on the morning of January 23rd. After firefighters suppressed the flames in her Mandal home, they found her body face down in a pool of blood in the kitchen. Her husband is charged. Now, last May 2nd, 2014, Jeanette McGrath Saldana was thought to have also lost her life at the hands of her husband, a former police captain. A probable cause fact sheet reported she had appeared to have been brutally beaten. However, prosecutors believe her cause of death may have been poisoning. Well, speaking about 1 Billion Rising, one local organization is joining the world stage in a global initiative to raise awareness on violence against women. The Family Resource Center on St. Thomas is participating in 1 Billion Rising, and for this coming Saturday at Emancipation Garden, they've prepared a little something for the community to enjoy and learn from. Why 1 billion? We asked Family Resource Executive Director Vivian St. Just.
About 1 in 3 women, statistics show, are beaten or raped in their lifetime. And that calculates to about 1 billion women. We're talking about domestic violence, we're talking about sexual assault, we're talking about genital mutilation, we're talking about youth brides, we're talking about things that primarily affect women at the hands of people that don't see that women are valuable and don't see the benefit to having women have a healthy and safe life. To participate or to view our gift, 1 Billion Rising Revolution for Justice, Saturday, February 14th, Emancipation Garden, 12 o'clock sharp.
Nearly 200 students attended the Youth Wise Up conference this past weekend on St. Croix. The free educational event was hosted by VI's Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Council to talk about healthy relationships and behaviors among teens. February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, and professionals from different agencies discussed topics like sexting, social media, self-esteem, healthy relationships, and teen dating violence. Senator Samuel Sanes was the day's keynote speaker since he was the 2014 National Sexual Violence Visionary Award recipient. He was awarded because of his ongoing legislation and advocacy for victims of violence. Well, the theme is agriculture, the heart of it all. The UVI Cooperative Extension Service and the Agricultural Experiment Station invites the community to the 44th Annual Agriculture and Food Fair, which will convene at the Rudolph Schultebrand Agricultural Complex at Estate Lower Love on St. Croix. That's from February 14th to the 16th. 16 UVI components will be participating in the exhibits by displaying their products and the services offered to the community. Displays will feature healthy nutrition and diet tips, best practices and handouts, as well as other offerings. Tune in for a preview on Friday's newscast. Downtown Revitalization, Inc. announces its first Downtown St. Thomas Entertainment Events Initiative commencing this Friday, February 13th through Sunday, February 15th. This three-day event is the first of several initiatives designed to ignite and restore vitality and viability to the downtown commercial district. A Valentine's Day weekend celebration of wonderful specials, dining and music, Saturday twilight musical serenade, and downtown late night dancing, as well as Sundays after the loving brunch. There will be steel pans, entertainment by top-notch band and other local musical groups. In addition, scheduled vignettes that include Mokajumbis, Calypso Combo, quadrille dancing, Quail Bay music, florists, local artist demonstration, and many displays. Well, many took advantage of a lovely promotion with the purchase of a full sheet of ticket. They received a special Valentine's Day gift bag with sweet things, flowers, chocolates, balloons, and of course, the chance to enter a raffle to win great prizes. But for the biggest prize, are you the winner of the grand prize of the $175,000? Here are the numbers.
The VI Lottery presents draw results of today's Valentine's drawing exclusively on News 2. Here are the top prizes. Fifth prize for $20,000, 26426, 26426. Fourth prize for $30,000, 05570, 05570. Third prize for $40,000, 11258, 11258. Second prize for $65,000, 05164, 05164. And the winning ticket number of the grand prize for $175,000 is 10915, 10915. If your ticket number wasn't called, keep trying. One of these days, your number could win. The next drawing is February 26th. Play the VI Lottery and imagine the possibilities.
And good luck as you check those tickets. Well, a note to cricket fans, Innovative Cable TV will not be airing the Cricket World Cup 2015. International has bought the rights, and therefore Innovative Cable is unable to provide the Cricket World Cup. For all interested subscribers and viewers, they will be available only via internet at the pay-per-view cost of $99.99. All 49 matches played by 14 nations will be aired live or on demand from February 13th to March 28th. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.